Football season is on the way, which means every time you pass a construction site, a campground, maybe even a park, you're going to find a porta potty and you are going to prep for tailgating. You're listening to Can't Read, Can't Write. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Can't Read, Can't Write, the podcast that proves Spartans can talk. I'm Mike Jones, joined as always by the guy who will porta potty by any means necessary, Kevin Greck, and nobody else.
Yeah, I could have just gone with porta potty guy and just called it at that. I do like that in your estimation, tailgating is really just pissing in a plastic box. That's the first thing that you think of, which maybe I should appreciate, because usually the first thing you think of is me sitting down on a curb in front of an audience. But yeah, porta potties. I mean, where you went with those?
Based upon the last few seasons, can you tell me that there's something better to describe
anything else? Yeah, that's fair.
But we're going to get into Big Ten Media Days. I think this is the time of the year when the itch starts to come back to me.
Ooh, you're starting to find it. You're starting to like, oh, I'm done with this summer thing. Let's bring on the fall. Let's go. Let's have some college football.
Yeah, I do think some of that was a vestige from times when we were good. The excitement. But, honestly, I'm excited to see if we're better.
I read somewhere, and I didn't bother to fact check this because that's about the amount of effort that we put in during the summer.
Sure.
The MSU football is on the precipice of its worst 4-year streak since joining the conference.
Holy shit.
Does not seem impossible to me, but also it seems like I remember John L. Smith.
Yeah.
How do I square that circle, So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I feel a little bit better about this team generally, and media days didn't change that. It didn't make it work, or didn't make it worse. So I think that's something to look forward to.
I don't know. Look, I'm not taking a left tackle to media days is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Considering what we've seen and felt, and everyone, your feelings are very valid.
And it's a podcast debut for Izzy over there.
Did she pop?
She popped up. She's over your right shoulder. Or I guess maybe that's a left. There you go. There she is. Go to YouTube, everyone. See Izzy over there. Be a good girl, Izzy. No cuts, please. We don't want to cut around you. Thank you. Bye.
Nope, we're just going to drop a treat and make it done. Okay, There you go. Bye-bye now.
She realizes that she's got you by the balls now.
She for sure is a manipulative bitch.
He doesn't want to deal with this in iMovie or whatever. So I can hit him up for as many treats as I want right now.
She'll be back. Anyway, we of course want to thank everyone for listening, and if we could ask a small favor, particularly as we head into football season, please share the pod with Spartans in your life. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts, and of course, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Spartan_pod, at Spartan Pod on Blue Sky, which it seems like is the only place that we interact with people. And of course, if you feel like reaching out, you can catch us on Gmail at can'tread.can'twrite1855@gmail.com. Greg, I appreciate all that you did on this outline, sincerely.
Yeah.
What do we got going on this week? We got actually kind of a packed.
Yeah, there's things to discuss. So we go behind the blue wall, where football always leads, and
the blue wall,
the blue wall. We're all living behind the blue wall all the time.
Oh,
aren't we?
We got to put that honest on the outline.
Yeah. Certain conference commissioners going on the record. Whatever. We'll deal with that. Football always leads, and there's stuff to talk about this week, so it has earned its spot. Then we'll go off Grand River. after taking a stop at Mama's Mercantile and Eatery. There's a couple of things to cover there. And then, as always, we will take your social media questions.
Greg, I'm just realizing, where do you want to put Spartan Dog Con? And the photos from there.
Okay, that goes under where is our minefield section on the outline? Because we would have to describe this to the audience. It's not that we can put two pictures next to one another and let the listeners reach their own conclusions. This is an audible format that relies on us to convey information. So,
all right, how about this? Everyone go to @coach_Smith. That's Jonathan Smith's Twitter account.
Yeah.
And observe. Maybe can we say it feels very Augusta-like?
Yeah. They're also so much older. Maybe it's that white dudes played football a really long time ago for the most part. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's not just... All right, listeners, let's just say it. It looks like there's a different racial makeup of the purveyors of Spartan Dog Con from when it was originally kicked off and now with Jonathan Smith.
Sure.
Which, it's not but naive. I guess it makes some sense that some players would feel more or less comfortable with the program based on certain things, but like the contrast is stark. So
very extreme.
Yeah.
So I'm just adding some things to make Plum angry when he inevitably listens to this.
Like this, that he wasn't here to talk about this subject.
No.
So speaking of Jonathan Smith, let's talk about media days and then we'll do special teams. So Big Ten Media Days was, for listeners that have better things to do with their summer than watch press availability for a bunch of guys that say basically nothing, was in Vegas this year. And did you see James Franklin talking about Vegas while sitting on the dais in Vegas?
No.
He basically was like, this sucks. We should be in Chicago or in Indianapolis. And I was good. Broken clock, my man. Appreciate you.
Here's to you, buddy.
I get that the Big Ten is coast to coast now. So if you're going to do this, at least do LA or do Seattle or something like that. Like,
it made as much sense as Miami makes.
Yes.
Like, why not New Orleans? Mm-hmm. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, why not Dallas? Why not Nashville? It's why? Just dumb. So both Jonathan Smith and Jay Batt and the players, of course, had media availability. The highlights, it is just so much coach speak, even from our athletic director. It's so much coach speak. Sure. It's basically the only thing that of interest to me was Jonathan Smith called out that the offensive line is where he expects to take one of the biggest steps. He also called out the number of guys that are back and are like building culture in year 2 in the program. He said the number 70, but I can't figure out how he got to that number. Can you educate me on this? It's not guys still on the roster from last year. Is it from spring? Is it just there are 70 warm bodies on the on the roster?
If you include walk-ons, it might be, right?
No. Between the seniors leaving and transfers out.
How many seniors do we have leave?
Not that many, actually. Not that many.
I don't know how many. We didn't get ravaged by transfers this year, right?
Yeah, but between the new incoming freshman class and the transfer class, that's at least like 30-ish new guys.
That's some spin zone. That's fair, but at the same time, what last year he turned over?
Yeah, nowhere near the amount of turnover from last year.
Yeah, because I think we might have had like 60 guys net new. Mm. Maybe not quite that extreme, but 40 guys net new.
There was one senior that actually committed to MSU, right? out of high school.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So
more continuity for like,
yeah,
and in an extreme way, I think is probably fair to say.
yeah.
But honestly, if between the end of fall and the end of spring, that's a different team than the one you go in, right? Like,
yeah,
there are almost 3 teams you experience at this point in time. There's
that is becoming true. Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, his numbers sus, but I don't think the point is, if that makes sense.
Yep. All right. Was there anything? I watched the player availability. I watched the coach availability. Jay Bat was on in the background, and I realized he wasn't going to say anything. So I had like, is there anything of interest to you other than we kind of talked about how Aiden Childs isn't there?
Yeah, though I think I heard somewhere that may not be uncommon for Jonathan Smith. But I think the only other thing of note, and like I'm gonna take this with
are you gonna go
Morton's kosher salt box worth of salt.
Can I guess what this is?
Oh, go ahead.
Nick Marsh saying that he chose program over money.
No.
Oh, okay. Continue then. I'm interested.
No, and honestly, like, we should shut up about that. Like, I mean, maybe the program counts for something, but let's also just celebrate the fact that, like, we retained an important piece of art. Like,
and let's also acknowledge that dude got a boatload of cash. So,
and
it's not like he was like $0 for me, please. I'm here to be a Spartan.
Yeah, well,
we're happy to have him, but don't believe for a second that Nick Marsh is having, ramen for dinner tonight. He's not.
Right. But like, there's Williams down in Alabama, and why is the name of the Ohio State kid escaping me?
Doesn't matter. They're all dead to us.
No, but they're both freshmen. They both were freshmen in Nick Marsh's class and are studs, right? Like, I mean, and Nick Marsh was,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, what is that dude's name?
Despite playing in this wretched offense, was in the conversation among
Jeremiah Smith is who you're
yes,
talking about.
thank you. So anyway, look, we should, it's okay Nick Marsh got paid. We should actually celebrate that, like, we were able to retain an important piece like that.
So what were you going to say with your like parking lot, Midwest parking lots worth of salt?
Yeah, truly, after a blizzard, right? I think we've all had questions about the running back position. Like, you pulled in a dude from Sac State. Like, that's what we're doing here. Jordan Hall just made an offhanded comment about, like, him being a hard dude to tackle. I don't know. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if that's just media coaching of we're going to shout everybody and their brother out. Like, and if so, good job you. But if Tao Tolliver ends up being okay, because I think you can be. We've talked about this before on the podcast. Like, I think it wasn't a question of running back talent for Michigan State.
No, it didn't really seem like the talent mattered at all at running back last year.
I would love to be
no disrespect to Nick, to Mr. Carter.
Yeah, right. I think of Mr. Carter might have been a decent back. He might have even gotten late round drafted if his offensive line was good. So anyway, just a note, like, we'll see. I actually do have one other thing that we don't have on the outline that we really need to talk about.
Is it here? Podcast host? Is this what we're doing?
Yeah. And it's because if you just look to your left, you have a little bit of crow to eat.
Lovely.
So
okay, great. What am I
rankings came out for the re-ranks for the class of whatever this.
Oh yeah, is. High school boys. Okay. All right,
And
I got you.
and you swore up and down on this podcast that that it would not go well for Michigan State, and
It has been a truism in my time paying attention to MSU football recruiting that guys committed to MSU almost never go up. They almost certainly go down in the ratings. And that did not happen in this re-ranking cycle. Jonesy, update the people. Now that some of them are 4 stars, how much better this incoming class is and how there's nothing for us to worry about.
Whoa. I think my only point is that I had commented that there were a handful of guys that seemed likely to receive rankings bumps, and that by the time it was all said and done, this class would probably end with more 4 stars. And frankly, 4 stars at a level, if we'd gotten them on the front end, we would have been a little bit happier with.
Yeah.
That was my point, and you said, "You dipshit, that never happens. What are you talking about?"
No, that was just every other conversation that we have.
I'm so sorry. Yes. But so anyway, I think yes, I just needed to make the listeners know that I knew that you were fucking wrong. And by the way, happy belated birthday, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone out there sharing similar. So, update. This was my birthday present from 24/7 Sports. Update to the Big Ten recruiting rankings. USC is still murdering everyone with 31 total commits, 21 of which are 4 or 5 stars. Then you drop down a little bit. You got your Washingtons and UCLA's at 6, 7. You got your Minnesotas, Illinois, and Indiana's at 8, 9, 10. And then you've got MSU. So I will say that at this point, we're not that far off from that group of like UCLA, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana. But like Rutgers and Iowa are also not that far behind us in that same group. It's really just Purdue, Northwestern, Wisconsin, which, should we talk about that at some point?
Ooh.
How certain coaches whose shoes have been in East Lansing are now maybe on the hot seat if you're not a whole lot of time.
That feels like a fickle subject, and I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah. God, that's why we have dads on the podcast, I guess.
Oh, come on. You didn't hate that.
Wisconsin and Nebraska are quite a ways behind. Now, Wisconsin and Nebraska have small classes, so they have the chance to go up the rankings. But we are definitely, it's tiers, right? Like USC is tier 1, kind of running away with it.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, and Penn State kind of in tier 2. And Ohio State is not running away with it in a way that you would expect. And then you've got Washington in its own tier 3. And then you've got us, UCLA, Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, Rutgers in tier 4. Iowa. I guess you could put Iowa in that group. So it's not as bad as it used to be. Like there were times when we were getting on here and was like the sky was falling and ours is the worst recruiting class in the Big Ten. And that is no longer the case. But if you want to win to the degree that we want to win, and another thing that unprompted Jonathan Smith said in his time Big Ten Media Days, we're competitive is what he said in the NIL space.
Well,
you got to move up into that at least tier 3, like Washington-esque tier of recruiting, I think, personally.
I think this is and I feel like I heard maybe Sheehan talk about this, but it just struck me as something that I was like, yes. There's a degree to which some coaches are really good at both projecting we have good NIL, and yet we're so poor at the same time. And I just... people have commented online about if no one's seen a picture of Jonathan Smith's office, there's nothing in it.
Like, or were they saying like he's ready to go at a moment's notice?
No, more just like dude can't be bothered with decorations, focused on ball, right?
Focused on ball. Nothing but ball.
Yeah. But so did you adjust your lighting?
Yeah, I did. For everyone on YouTube. It was it's a Wi-Fi
I don't
bulb.
care.
It's a Wi-Fi bulb, and I can do whatever I want with it.
Also, this from a man who didn't pay for pre-spooled twine in his edger, but has bought smart light bulbs. Great.
I can run my own twine. Thank you. And twine. It's a polymer, Michael Jones. And you're the yard guy. You should know that.
You're right. Anyway, but it feels like Jonathan Smith just can't be bothered to do frankly, the part of the job that's fundraising.
Maybe. I don't know. Do you want? Would you try?
Say what you want to say.
Okay, so there have been a few times where I've been in the room with Jonathan Smith, big room. I don't want to make it sound like me and a small group of people, but like
and
big
you
rooms.
Had the chance to ask him a question, and you said,
right.
"Do you
it's not
like
just
your shoes today?"
Yes, I did, and he was like, "Not as much as Luke Fickell likes him at Cap City Airport." But he we're in a room with him a couple times, and I think that's true that like the first time I saw him, it was in a room of like 100 people. This was right after he got named, and you kind of wouldn't know that guy was the football coach. But he was also sitting at a table full of donors. Make no mistake about it. And when you see him at football games, you better believe Bob Scandalaris is getting, a moment as he walks past him on the floor. And
you mean basketball games?
Yeah, sorry. Did I say football?
Yeah.
I'm in steep cognitive decline, so that's why that happened. Let's have another beer.
Cheers.
And then also, at like the hockey thing, the NCAA tournament thing in Toledo, he arrived a little late, but he made a couple stops at tables. So like he'll make sure he touches in with certain folks.
Yeah,
for sure. But at the same time, it's not like, I don't know. There have been some guys, maybe Kevin G's sort of like this, that like he's going place to place to place. Well, I don't know.
Mel probably was decent at this.
I haven't seen J-Bat in action, so I'll report back when I do.
Oh, I'm actually very excited for this. When you get to see the Batman.
If I do, I don't know. I mean,
okay. Man who cops to seeing Jonathan Smith multiple times in a room, including when he was announced for head football coach, is like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to see J-Bat. I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, it depends. I don't control these things. It's whenever they leave a door unlocked and I can jimmy my way in. That's my chance.
Oh, the old Delta Arms.
Hey, listen, listeners, if you're like, okay, what is going on with this guy? You're right, Jonesy. I appreciate you bringing it up. I should just own that I am in the lowest tier of contributors for Spartan NIL. And that affords you certain levels of access.
I'd love that a $10 a month contribution.
50, Michael. 50. Still never been contacted, by the way. Never received an email or a follow-up other than your account is now active. Congratulations. You're Spartan NIL.
Love that you actively have a reoccurring donation to something that may not be legally allowed to contribute money to student athletes any longer.
As far as I'm aware, the clearinghouse has turned down no NIL deals, correct?
No, quite the contrary.
Oh,
the
really?
only ones they've turned down are from collectives.
Oh, good.
So
Has this been challenged in court yet?
I believe some of the NIL collectives have sort of reorged themselves to make it much clearer that what they're paying for is publicity.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it does seem so easy. It seems like Spartan NIL should be like,
you think
Cap
Spartan
City,
NIL's gonna do something smart?
Cap City Humane Society. The football team is going to do one meet and greet over there in your parking lot once a year, and that's it. Done. We did it.
Oh no, it's not even that. The publicity is for the collective.
Oh, so it's like, hey, one tweet.
Here's a snake eating itself.
Yes, very much so.
We're doing right now.
What are we even talking about? All right, listen.
Caden Schickel.
Oh, wow. Launching right into the special teams preview, apparently. Listeners, by the way, do not know who Caden Schickel is.
Well, you're that's why we do the preview. This.
Yeah. Go ahead. Explain.
So, yeah, we're going to, I think next week we'll do defense. That sounds right. And then we'll end on offense.
The people want offense because they're just so smooth brained. You assume that like, oh, you have to score points to win a football game. So that's the thing I care the most about.
You'd be led to believe that was not true if you'd watched Michigan State football over the last few years.
If you've watched over the last several years, this is the most important position group. And truly, we're burying the lead here. Or I don't know. That's not right, but continue.
So, Caden Schickel is a redshirt senior long snapper. You may say, why are we talking about long snappers? Well, it matters.
It's a very important part of the special teams process.
8 games for Michigan State University last year before getting a season-ending injury, and things got fine after that, but not good. James Madison University transfer, but Caden Schickel, excellent performance while he was around and was a reliable part of the special teams units. Kevin, Jonathan Kim is no longer with us.
Did he die?
He's dead to me.
It's a terrible joke to make about MSU punters. I feel truly awful about that.
But actually, now you should feel worse that you both dipped into that well and then misremembered what position Jonathan Kim played.
He has punted once or twice in his life, I'm sure. I should have said Michigan State kickers. When listeners, when you go to every other week,
digging.
When you go to every other week, there's a little atrophy of the podcasting muscle that you have to break through. And I know all about working out muscles. That's one of the core things that I do on a daily basis. So let's continue talking about Martin. You want to talk about Martin?
Martin Connington?
Yeah, sure.
Who sounds like he is a character on Downton Abbey. Martin Connington is a redshirt freshman. He was the number 5 kicker in his class, according to Cole's Kicking.
Does that get you a 5-star?
Yes. And I believe was 7th, according to some other services. Who cares? We're going to stick with 5 because that's what I like. I think importantly, I believe he ended 23 for 23 on his extra points, which we like in his senior season as a high schooler. And then I believe missed like 2 or 3 field goals, but generally speaking had a high percentage on his field goals. And additionally, averaged 57.9 yards per kick on a kickoff in high school. Now, I want to put a couple caveats on this because that, if you do the math, that puts you in the ballpark of a regular touchback machine. And you like that. It reduces risk if you can get the ball through the back of the end zone. And we could presume that if he's a redshirt freshman now, he's added some strength since he's been a senior in high school. But that was also in Idaho. I also want to note that I believe he was the number 3 prospect out of the state of Idaho. which says a lot about Idaho football. That a kicker.
Kicking is winning. Yeah, Idaho soon to the Big Ten.
But at elevation, presumably that ball traveled a bit farther. But anyway, look, it's fair to wonder, considering we're replacing Jonathan Kim, who had a very live leg. And I think there are reasons to believe that Martin Connington might be a pretty decent kicker. But, as we transition to the next player that we're going to talk about, we've in the past been worried when you've had a very successful person that you've had to reload from. And sometimes you end up very pleasantly surprised, like with, turning over to you, buddy,
Ryan Eckley. We're going to Ryan Eckley.
He replaced Bryce Behringer.
Yeah, it's tough. Big shoes. Big kicking shoes to fill. But, I mean, he's going to be our next Ray guy, right? Oh, dumb.
He is preseason second team All-American.
Mm-hmm.
He was I believe a Ray Guy finalist last year.
Yeah,
he's certainly on the preseason watch list. And if his career ended today, he would beat Bryce Behringer, NFL draftee Bryce Behringer, for average yards per punt.
Yardage isn't the whole thing with punting, Michael Jones.
Yeah, I understand that, but
it's just nothing but power with you in all parts of your life. You're like,
I can understand as someone who
with
exudes
power.
so little power that you can't respect that. But
it's finesse. It's subtle. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand.
Is that?
Yeah. Continue, please. What you were saying?
Nope.
What were you saying about our kick returner, Mike Jones?
It's like
it's
the
a mystery.
Sarah McLachlan song. We're building mystery. Yeah, there's like 8 dudes on the roster who might be it. I suspect we trot out Alante Brown for him to be concussed into oblivion on the first play of the season.
Yeah, but that was an omen, as it turned out. Should have known. All right, so special teams. Overall, scale from 1 to 10, hype level, special teams. Mike Jones, go.
I mean, hype level?
Yeah.
Who gets hyped for? You gotta be.
I do. 10 out of 10. Punting is winning.
This is be an Iowa fanatic.
This is the Big Ten. This is the Big Ten. Kicking is winning.
I actually think this will be among the better. I think there are reasons to believe that this is a place of confidence for this team.
Great. So. All right. Is there any more football that you want to talk about? Do you want to talk more about the racial makeup of the Spartan Dog Con? Do you want to talk more about special teams?
You can't blame it also on the fact that they're all old dudes, because we can't do that and also champion and pioneer that we were one of the teams that was like breaking the racial barrier and it be that fucking monochromatic. Anyway, no. Let's talk about teenage boys instead. All right.
So basketball.
Let's go to an island on a private plane and talk about teenage boys.
It's not just football and hockey that can have teenage boys. Basketball can have teenage boys as well. And Carlos Medlock of Wayne Memorial, local young man who chose MSU over U of M in Tennessee, casting a little shade at U of M on the way.
What did he say?
Well, he said that U of M didn't really feel like the same culture because it's very transfer laden, which
facts
what Dusty be doing. He is he's not at Wayne Memorial right now. He's at Link Academy in Missouri, but he's rated 118th overall, number 10 point guard, and he had a pretty raucous AAU summer.
Yeah, I got the stats right here in case anyone's curious. 21 points per game, 3 assists per game, 4 rebounds per game on 47, 36, and 79. So that's 47% from the field, 36 from behind the arc, and 79 from the line. And that's shooting 5.5 3-point attempts per game.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's the start to the 26th class.
That's like landing your quarterback early.
Yeah. He is should we say prototypical MSU point guard? He's less than
Short.
6 feet tall.
Short. But he's more of a scorer.
Yeah.
Than sort of more in a Tyson Walker mold than or a Lucas Rappling, if you will. Than a Cassius even. And I mean, that's not to say that Cassius didn't fill it up, but like, or a Fears, right? Like,
should we use the rest of this podcast speculating on how much of Carlos Medlock's career Tom Izzo be his coach?
Well, I actually
open up the phone lines, callers.
It's an interesting commitment because let's talk about what's on the roster now.
Okay.
So, Fears and Ugo Chukwu.
Yep.
Both have 2 more years in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Carlos is part of the class of 2026, right?
Yep.
Do we want to talk about who's in the class of 2027?
Oh, yeah. Martin Cleaves.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be weird, but or I don't want to over presume, but like I'm pretty sure his dad will literally kill him if he doesn't pick Michigan State. Right? Like, I mean, if you just look, there are plenty of people who have plenty of past players that have a ton of loyalty to Michigan State.
Yeah.
That I mean, look at Richardson, right? Like, but even he has let his kids do their own thing.
One of them chose right, and the other one appears to be on his way to choosing incorrectly.
Right. But
you got, Jonesy, should we spend the rest of our podcast talking about how you got to let your kids make their own mistakes?
No, because I can assure you there's one mistake that my child will never make. Or they'll be coming very out of pocket to do it on their own.
Are we talking about a Strayhorn now all of a sudden? Have we gone from basketball to football? Because there's stuff to talk about there. I talked
this on the podcast as it relates to Strayhorn, and I told everyone then, and I'll say it again, he's a bad fucking father. And
we did a pretty raucous take on Strayhorn that we cut, and I have kind of regrets now. Do you remember what that was about?
No, but I'm going to need a refresher.
I don't remember exactly what was said, but it was deeply personal. Like as personal as you can possibly get. And we made the decision to cut it.
Well,
kind of wish. Well, I don't remember it either. I just remember.
Was it me saying that he was a bad father?
No, and we kept that in.
Like there's something more personal than me.
No, I think
saying you're bad at being a parent.
I think it's the degree to which we went on about it was the thing. It was just heavy piling on.
We're gonna get back to that in a little bit. Either way, So, look, Carlos Medlock Jr. This is maybe the best Detroit area point guard prospect. Was certainly for Michigan State anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Since Cassius, and so this is a big pickup. I love that it's this early in the cycle, but I think it's fair to ask because we know. You just know there's no way that Cleaves' son is going anywhere else. So long as that he is a D1 prospect, it's not going to be somewhere else. Or not D1. It like major, right? Like, So anyway, I do think Ugo Chukwu and I believe Medlock have both talked about the idea that, look, I think Jace Richardson was a boon for Michigan State in the sense that we we had this mold of a guy who could do a little bit of both, and so you can kind of sell that. You can sell a more meaningful combo guard. We had Tyson Walker doing it less effective. I think it's fair to say less effectively.
We had Rocket Watts doing it even less effectively than that.
But anyway, that's just
Speaking
something
of just going as personal as we possibly can. Continue.
Carlos Medlog Jr., I am thrilled by this pickup. Like, genuine, I mean this sincerely. He picked our school. He seemed to care about it. And yet, it is one of those people, and maybe this is the Trey sort of baggage that I'm now carrying around, but I'm like, is he going to graduate?
Yeah.
And I do not mean that disrespectfully. It's just
you're talking about how by the time he even gets to school, scholarship limits on age will be gone, and Jeremy Fears will continue to be our point guard until he's 32.
I do believe actually that 5 years and 5 years has moved forward in the NCAA, so we're approaching.
That's the first step. That's the slippery slope.
Now, this next point on here, Kevin, that I wanted to chat about is specifically, and Plum, if you're not listening right now, go on YouTube, because I'm looking straight at you. We have signed a UConn home and home deal for an exhibition series. A home and home.
Yeah, I don't like that it's exhibition, by the way. I guess I kind of like that these teams are doing this now for charity, something. I want to see our two teams play, though. I want to see them actually play.
We would have if Hurley hadn't shit the bread last year.
The bread. That's the worst thing. Wow.
It's a moldy situation. To shit the bed. But I do think there's an opportunity with the exhibition that the two coaches that are probably known for their expressions courtside have an opportunity really to lean in. Like, what are you going to do? Get ejected from a fucking exhibition?
Or
like, there's a real...
This could be like the Northern exhibition where you just mic them up and they just chat the whole game, and there like is very little actual basketball that gets played. You put in a Moneyball thing here, and I think I want to say really mean, deeply personal things about you, because I thought that we had discussed this. But go ahead.
Right. Fine. But here's the thing. If it gets an article in the Lansing State Journal,
the paper of record in the capital of the state of Michigan,
and if you're so not a contributor offensively, and you begin putting up these kind of numbers, because I want to be very clear that if Carson Cooper begins hitting three-pointers at a tum-tum level, that is more of a contribution from your center than is reasonable to expect. So Carson Cooper apparently has been hitting threes at a decent clip, including, I believe, making 5 in one game.
Now listen.
And has been putting them up in practice in front of Tom Izzo.
As established, the Lansing State Journal put its credibility on the line as being the paper of record in the capital of Michigan, and it would never do such a thing as trying to troll for clicks to use Moneyball content. In using Moneyball content, it would never do such a thing.
They didn't even go to the Big Ten Media Days, so they would never.
They're so focused. The author of that piece, whoever that may be, is so focused on Moneyball right now and Carson Cooper's threes that why bother going to Vegas? Why bother? I don't know. Sometimes things do happen. I will believe it when I see it in real games.
I want to be very clear that I'm talking about if Carson Cooper is making one every other game.
I mean, now that Booker's gone, that quota has to be met of a big brick and threes. But
Booker did it on Booker. his per 40 minutes was insane. We're talking about Carson Cooper doing like.
I'm so starved for college basketball content. I saw a listicle of like the preseason rankings, like just some idiots, and it had UCLA above MSU, and it had Book as the starting center for UCLA, and I was like, "What a credible, what a credible article." You can't have it both. You can't have it both ways. Is all I'm going to say.
You cannot. You cannot.
All right, let's move on to hockey. Speaking of high school boys,
this is not a high school boy, to be very clear.
This is very much a high school boy. He's 18.
Shit, you're right.
This is as high school boy as it gets. Yes. Porter Martone. He's out of Canada, so Martone. Maybe he plays for. Anyway,
the A is Canadian.
It's always a question mark. 6th overall pick in 2025 draft, went to Philly. 6'3" forward, taking one of 2 remaining roster spots at MSU. You'll remember that Iceman, of course, who Baker Award winner, went ahead and signed with Calgary. And a certain wonderkind ended up going to Penn State. So there were 2 spots. He took one of them. He's coming from the Brampton Steelheads of the CHL, which I do not blame him because Brampton sucks, man. Might as well be Guelph. Like, ugh. Tiger Cats for life. Anyway, he was the captain of a CHL team, and he's now coming to MSU. So, he's an 06 kid. He's 18, as we established. And he joins, just a reminder, yes, last week did suck a little bit on the hockey front, but just a reminder, this class is still stacked and this team is still stacked. There's over a dozen NHL draft picks on this roster for next year. So, yes, we didn't exactly get the generational talent, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't.
Overall, though. Like,
but
that ain't
6th
shabby.
overall is not a bad consolation prize.
And I believe he was described as, like, in the vein of one of the Tkachuk brothers? Is it? Do you pronounce the T or not pronounce the T?
If only we had a hockey guy that knew.
But would you describe Brampton as the Gary, Indiana of Canada?
Yeah. Not even Mississauga. Like, just sad. Just sad.
When Windsor has more to offer. All right. Should we talk a couple general points?
Sure. Yeah. Talk general points. What kind of general points do you want to talk about?
Well, so you had a J Bat, and you already described that he did a whole lot of nutting. And then I think we covered vaguely, but didn't say explicitly, that Strayhorn is out.
We teased it.
Yeah, that's what we call it, tease in the podcast.
That's a biz term for listeners.
Strayhorn is out on the broadcast, which is interesting, because he was still, I believe, involved in the podcast for whatever the thing you contribute to does.
No, the other one. Thank you very much.
Oh, the other one. Sorry. And they brought in Jay Kolkrick, who I believe is also involved in that podcast.
Well, he's also actually on the broadcast now. He was like the man on the street, like the field level correspondent.
I think this is all fine. Look, you have a professional voice in Blaha, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I think for certain folks, there's no besmirching Blaha to be done, and that's I understand where you're coming from. Meanwhile, the Lions have signed Benetti to be their play-by-play guy. Just saying.
Would have been nice.
Yep.
Would have been nice.
I'm going to jump to in off Grand River just to strike it out. Meanwhile, Robbie Hummel has been picked up by the NBA.
Yeah.
So,
not to talk again 2 weeks in a row about too many other podcasters, but maybe Sheehan can get Noah Eagle to kind of join. Whenever we're ready to move on for play-by-play, maybe he can make that call.
I feel like Noah Eagle is is an undervalued talent. Is maybe the best way of saying it, and that's not. I'm happy when he's on the call.
Trouble is, I don't know if he's in town. Like, would he have to take the Spartan line in from Chicago? I don't know where that dude lives.
Fine. Either way, Strayhorn out. Who cares? Like, let's not do any of the. And maybe JU ends up being great, but let's not. Neither of those guys are.
Wow, for
in the league of Robbie Hummel.
Talking junk about other broadcasters, you just left a lot of dead air right now. Okay,
I was really struggling with how to say it politely.
Spartan Sports Network passed on you for play-by-play and or for color commentary, and now we know why. Because my word, the number of people that were like, "Is there something wrong with my phone and or car and or whatever device people choose to listen to us on?" I just awful podcasting there for a moment, Mike Jones.
I'm not pretending that I'm good at this, but I would also say that if we're revisiting people, when are we going to revisit Will? When are we going to revisit Will?
Listen, you can't replace them both at the same time.
You actually can.
Listen,
you can. There's not a single fucking soul in the world. He is the Johnny Spirit of fucking broadcasting. No one will blink if twice.
Oh,
if he's not there.
You moved on to Will Tiemann. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
okay.
No, that's yes, that will
replace him as soon as possible. Yes, absolutely.
George can stay as long as he wants.
Just have Matt do all the speaking, and Will talk into a microphone with no cord that goes into it, basically.
Just pull the aux cord.
Yes. It's just Matt Stiganga that does all of the talking, and then occasionally when Will Tiemann gets really excited, you can sort of accidentally hear him on Stiganga's mic, and that's how we broadcast.
Described a minute ago 3-pointer, and then Will Tiemann is finally he got it.
He got it. But it's so wow. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Replace that post haste. But I thought you were saying replace the whole football broadcast staff.
No, Blaha stays as long as he would like.
I will not abide that. Okay.
Nope. Blaha stays as long as he would like. Because we're still in WJR, right?
Yes, my understanding.
Yeah. I mean, that's a relic of
the games, so.
But that's a relic of Hollis, and that was at the time a big coup for.
That was like 25 years ago now. At this point, that WJR picked MSU over U of
M. I think the pricing was probably. I don't know that they picked us from a brand perspective. We made it.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The most powerful single beacon of radio in the state broadcasts George Blaha and MSU. That's what matters. That's what I care about.
I cared about it a lot at the time as well. Should we head off Grand River, or should we take a dalliance down 94 on the way off Grand River?
Dalliance there, considering, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Look, friends, I know at least one of you jabronis, multiple of you jabronis actually, has gone to Mama's Mercantile and Eatery.
Yep.
And it's time. It's time if you've not made the trip over there for you to do it. And if you're coming up for a game, because we're getting close to kickoff, you need to stop at 4450 Clear Lake Road
I hate you so
in
much.
Grass Lake, Michigan,
Oh my
because
God.
it is excellent food. And if you mention Can't Read, Can't Write, you get 10% off of your bill. If for some reason you're staying in that ballpark neighborhood, whatever, you can check out ordering online, experience great food, drinks, and atmosphere at Mama's. Go to mamasmerc.com for menus, online ordering, and more.
And just a reminder, listeners, you were going to order a High Life because it's on the menu anyway, and that Can't Read, Can't Write discount takes it from above $3 to below $3. And I put it to you, listeners.
I think maybe
Don't
we should
do
be
it to
less
me.
specific on pricing.
Don't do it to me. This is promise. This is a promise. Where else are you going to find that? Nowhere else.
And
Nowhere
look,
else.
if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, you'll see I'm a consumer of the Miller Lite. They have those on draft specifically for one man only. It is not me. It is someone related to me. And they come in large glasses that are refrigerated and ice cold. So you can get a Miller Lite on draft there that is very refreshing. And as we approach fall, no joke, they have a fantastic patio with fire pits. Like, it's a great place to hang out as we move into sweater weather. So check out Mama's Merc. Again, mamasmerc.com. See their menu, etc.
The PBR is $3, and that was what you were going to order anyway. So then it becomes $2.70. And where were you going to do better than that? Nowhere.
Truly, I think the only better deal I know of is the we went to Bob and Barbara's in Philly, right?
The High Life is $5, and I'm going to have to talk to the manager about that, because how is PBR $3 and High Life is $5? We'll get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
What were you talking about? Philly?
I was going to say the
Brought
only,
it back
the only
around to
place
your coastal elitism.
Did we go to Bob and Barbara's when you were out in Philly?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's cash only, but for $3.50. Unless we'll see, I don't know if Bidenomics hit them, but
this does look familiar. Yes,
shot a Jim Beam and a PBR for $3.50.
Not bad.
I mean, you have to drink the Jim Beam.
I'm down to drink the Jim Beam. Someone has taken a picture 6 years ago. Someone took a picture of the ceiling, and I can't imagine that's because good things were happening on the ceiling. Go ahead and open up a browser tab, dear listeners, for Bob and Barbara's Lounge, Philadelphia, and we'll see you there. This looks great.
It is genuinely one of my favorite bars in the world. That's like not a joke. Anyway, let's head off Grand River, Kevin, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, put your tinfoil hat on. Tell me about our friends down in Ann Arbor.
Well, it was announced.
Deep desire to take a trip to museums.
It was announced that, yes, because of certain elements in their history, they now have to go to Germany to learn about history. They have chosen that they're going to go play Western in Hamburg or something like that next year.
Hamburg?
I don't remember exactly. It doesn't matter. The prevailing, if you're not in the same social media circles as the rest of us, the prevailing tinfoil hat theory, as Jonesy put it, is as Penn State went and played in Dublin when they were ineligible for the postseason, so too might Michigan be setting up to play abroad to kind of give fans and recruits and players something to be excited about. So we don't know that this is true, but they're a team. And this is also still interesting for us because they're a team choosing to play a home game somewhere other than their home stadium, because it's not like they weren't going to go to Kalamazoo. They hate and loathe their fellow Michiganders in a way that we don't, of course, going to
unless you go to Central.
And well, they a lot of good that did us going to Central, by the way. Yeah, a lot of goodwill that bought us. So I guess as much as I loved it, that was a mistake as it turned out. But we talked a lot about giving up a home game. It's not something the teams do likely, and they're choosing to go play in Germany against Western. So if they are ineligible, which Tony, our conference conference commissioner, hopes that maybe they're not. But if the NCAA hands them down a postseason ban, the tinfoil hat theory is that they're doing this to gin up excitement for that season.
I believe also the head of the college football playoff, not the committee, but sort of the president, if you will, indicated, because those are bowls, so they're not actually part of the NCAA, indicated they would abide by any indications presented by the NCAA. So if someone were hypothetically stripped of all of their wins, I believe I saw that online. I'm starting to plug back in, unfortunately or fortunately.
Okay. Speaking of being online, you may have seen that rumors are starting to swirl that North Carolina may be trying to get out of the ACC and going to the SEC.
That's surprising to me, considering
though how hard it is to get out of the ACC, and recall how Florida State wants to get out so bad, and these rumors aren't about them. So.
And I believe they got paid out to not do that.
Yeah. The ACC ended up
doing the same thing right now.
Yeah. Shaking them down, trying to get more money.
We covered Hummel to the NBA. I think, though, I do just want to say that's a big freaking bummer if Hummel's just around less.
Say, Levy.
Yeah, I mean, Dakic may come back, and that's unfortunate.
Is he going to just be on AM Grifter Radio? That's where the games will be played?
What's the broadcast? Truth fight? Or whatever the
knowledge fight. Talking a lot about other podcasts here on this week's episode of Can't Read, Can't Write. Let's do social media questions, shall we?
All right. Yes, we shall. And we're going to start, though, first with one that's not on the outline. Because Jessup wrote in as we were recording.
This is hot off the presses. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with Jess. Number one. My niece Breslin turned one earlier this month. Daughter of 2 MSU grads. If my U of M alum mother gets her a U of M gift, even as a joke, can my sister and her brother-in-law burn it in front of her?
It's a joke. It's just another joke, right?
It's a hat on a hat.
Yeah.
I've made it very clear to people who have indicated that they would spend hard American dollars on things that are from other Big Ten schools. My neighbor went to Indiana. My brother-in-law and his wife went to OSU. Other people who have maybe indicated that the school down the road, they would like to buy it. You could light your money on fire. At least that would provide warmth. Like, we ain't doing that shit. Now, my son is gravitated towards the Eagles.
Go Birds.
Sure. He'll get it eventually. He talks a lot about like the Birds playing the Spartans, and I'm like, that's not how it works. But
they are both professional teams at this point.
Next up from Jessup, Greg, this is actually kind of a thing that we need to discuss. Which football games, home or away, are circled on the calendar to attend?
To attend? Do you have one to attend? I mean, that's the most important thing for you.
Well, I got to clear it with some people, and I need you to emotionally chill the fuck out. But I am going to be back in town for a holiday weekend.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that.
Would you go?
What? The game is supposed to be played in my town where I live. But you want me to take myself and go an hour plus away to go sit in a building.
I'm sorry. How many miles am I freaking traveling? And you're upset about me?
We'll discuss. But I'm not going to be happy about it.
Actually, I think it'd be a lot of fun to do with my folks. That'd be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what was that? Is that Maryland?
It's Maryland, yeah.
So that's the problem is that some of the games that I would normally go to, unfortunately, I have a lot of work travel this year, and so it's just probably a little bit tough for me to get out before then. But, including Dublin, which you brought up earlier, which I was like, it'd be great to do a game there.
Let's put it on the schedule. What else does Jet Set have for us?
That's it. So we can move on to Joey. Is this sports ball, Joey?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, Joey.
Great. Cast each football position group as one of the roles of Friends. Who is Joey? Who is Phoebe? Who is Ross? And therefore, who is Rachel? Show your work.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know Friends well enough for this.
That's unfortunate. We should call your cohabitator.
Yeah, bring her up here. We'll do this on Instagram tomorrow, Joey.
Do you recall that I made a Friends reference during your wedding?
No. I don't. Well, I recall that multiple Friends references were made during the speeches
in the
my
speech
wedding.
that I was told approximately 5 minutes beforehand I was asked to make.
Approximately is doing a lot of work there, listeners. Approximately.
It was the day of, that's for sure.
No, it was not the day of.
Oh, yes,
no,
it was
not. No, it was not.
All right, who's dumb and likable on this team?
Well, let's just start with likable. The wide receivers.
Sure. Frenetic and a little bit flaky.
Did you chat GPT the characteristics of Friends characters?
No. I've watched Friends multiple times.
How'd you come up with frenetic? Where did that come from?
It's in my vocabulary.
Okay, continue. Yeah, right.
Who's frenetic and unreliable?
The O-line?
No, frenetic would imply energy.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to go DBs.
Yeah, defensive backs. That's a good spot. That is a good spot.
Who's Ross and therefore Rachel? Ross being needy, clingy, just too much.
Defensive
Rachel,
ends. The defensive line.
And then Rachel being sort of too cool. Is that Ross? I'm sorry, is that Aiden Giles then? Too cool and yeah. Okay. All right. There's our work.
Doesn't really accomplish a whole lot at the beginning of the season. Hopefully completes his or her arc and then becomes something later on.
And who's shouting, "We were on a break"? That would be Ross, because that would be the DEs, because they didn't get a sack for 4 fucking games in a row.
Yeah.
We were on a break. Next up, sorry, Joey adds, meaningful football cannot come soon enough.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Yeah. Jason Fry asking, Greg, what's a worse way to get fired? Getting caught cheating with your work subordinate at a concert, or tampering with your employer's and alma mater's best player to get them to transfer to their hated rival after letting your son play for them?
What is he referring to with letter B here? I don't know what it is, but it is definitely the worst of these two options, no doubt about it.
Both of them were yellow, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
That was not bad.
For those that have better things to do with their lives. It was Yellow is a Coldplay song. It's a reference to the first one.
No, if you have to explain,
just bad, just rough. Coldplay references, no go on the podcast. Says me. Jason Fry though, very well done, and Jason Strayhorn. Don't let the door. My guy. Next up from Jason Fry, I will maintain that being a Jason does not guarantee you're a great person. See Strayhorn, Jason. But the best of us as people are Jasons, citing Benetti, Bateman, Sudeikis, Jason Richardson, and Plum's husband, Jason. Oh, gosh.
Plum's not here,
so nice. I'm going to take this opportunity. One of the things that bothers me the most is brands that have IP but then choose to misuse it. And the Jason Bateman Batman State Farm commercial just irks me so much. You have Batman. Why do you keep putting Jason Bateman in my face? You got Batman. You can use Batman. What are you doing?
I don't know that I know this commercial.
It's a series of commercials. Other things that bother me is when brands just inflate celebrities' own brands as part of their commercial. And this is a case of that. Jason Bateman doesn't hold a candle to Batman. This sucks. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I don't hate Jason Bateman. Like, good for you. Go get it, bud. Like, I love your work.
But also lean in more to just Arrested Development references.
Yeah, do something. It's just bad. It's just not good. I just don't care for it. Other than Plum's husband, Jason, of course.
Yeah, Plum's not here.
Who's your favorite Jason, Mike Jones?
Of that crew, Sudeikis. I mean, just consistently very funny.
Yeah, and in Detroiters, so you get credit for that. Next up from Joe Ashworth, does anyone else feel shitty about our shitty conference leading the shitty charge to have a shittier playoff that generates more shitty money and longer, shittier games, as long as it means we get 4 shitty playoff spots as a lead?
Yeah, so we didn't talk about this. Great call out, Joe. So the Big Ten is leading the charge to 4 auto bids.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'll say this. If fucking Indiana can make the playoffs,
yeah,
then so can Vatech. So, no, the Big Ten shouldn't have 4 fucking spots in the playoff. Like, I think it's pretty simple here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down for conference champs getting an auto bid. Totally fine with that. Past that, and you know what? Actually, James Franklin said. Again, dude was just like fucking a squirrel around an acorn tree, like just picking shit up. But we all need to be doing the same things. Either we have conference championship games, or we don't. Like, everyone needs to. We all play the same number of conference games. Period. 8, 9, who cares? Like,
yeah.
Inherent in conferences is that you cannot compare apples to apples, but you can sure as fuck reduce the amount of variables in it all, right? Like,
I mean, this happens in the NFL too. Like, there are good divisions and there are bad divisions, but they're playing by the same general set of scheduling rules, which is not the case in college football.
Right. And so we could do a lot better in that regard. I mean, I also think, I feel like I saw recently that it's either 3 or 4 teams have won the SEC in the last 84 years. I mean, an objectively insane number of years have been the same 3 or 4 teams.
Yeah.
So let's stop with the SEC bullshit, right?
Mhm.
Like, anyway, it's a bit tangential to the broader point, but and yet I actually think that we probably are the worst of the two conferences in terms of the.
Clearly, you were listening to Big Ten Media Days because everyone to the mans, and it was all men, said that the Big Ten is the strongest conference. So
No, I just meant in terms of the destruction of college football.
Yeah.
I think actually we are worse than the SEC in that regard.
We have been leading. I mean, we destroyed one of the other power conferences. Now, did those teams kind of self-destruct the conference? You could make that argument, but we had a hand in it.
Yeah, they were asking for it.
Yeah. Did you see them?
That's what you're saying.
It truly was, though. USC and UCLA were leaving, and we kind of just took Washington and Oregon and finished the whole thing off. It was a mercy kill at that point. A mercy kill.
You said, "Did you see what they were wearing?" And that's what I heard out of all of this. Next up, the Upper Jerk Guy. Weekly? Really?
You lucky dog. You lucky dog. You. Oh, you.
Next question from the Jerk Guy. Will Childs throw more touchdowns or interceptions this year?
I'd just be happy for an equilibrium at this point. Just be thrilled.
It's if it touchdowns.
Equal.
The wide receivers are probably kind of actually maybe stacked this year. Now they're all going to go down in week 1, but then you have Alante Brown in the background who lasts for approximately 3 snaps. Next up from the Jerk Guy, is college sports doomed, Kevin?
It does really seem to be heading in that direction, doesn't it? To a degree.
Yeah. But we had the big beautiful executive order.
We did. I'm sorry, we didn't even put that off Grand River. College sports is
because it was so fucking hollow.
Yeah.
Kevin, oh my God, how many questions? We got to cut some of this. Kevin, will you ever get it?
I do get it. Upper Deck Jerk Guy. I get it. I'm looking right in the camera, directly into your soul. But I get it. Next up, will Jones ever recover from being an East Coast elite?
I'm not actually from the East Coast.
Yeah, but it permeates you, and it's your West Coastness as well. It's general coastal elitism that you have, not specific to the East Coast. Will Carr have more 3-pointers than highlight dunks?
All right, so actually this is
the word highlight is doing a lot of lifting.
This is a halfway decent Shartvert over under. Classic Shartvert over under.
Wow.
Because if you think about it, let's assume that Cohen averages 1 noteworthy dunk a game.
Yeah.
For sake of argument. What's the over under going to be?
Okay.
Is he going to average more than 1 3-pointer per game?
So I am going over here. So last year, Cohen Carr had 5 total 3-pointers. During that time, he had, I don't have dunks out, lots of dunks. Many of them were highlight reels. So I'm going to say he doubles his output in 3-point shots, which is fair, up to 10. And then across 30 games, he will have a highlight reel more than half the time. So thus, there will be more highlight dunks than 3-pointers.
His handle reportedly has improved, so that just lends
even
itself.
More dunks. Even more dunks.
Greg, in a very conspicuous, auspicious even question, because he's not here, is Plum okay?
Yeah, what makes you ask that question there? Do a wellness check. Do a wellness check.
To say.
Next up from the Key Ski, a large act of random violence in Traverse City. Yes, stabbing event at a Walmart. The hearing should occur in less than 30 days and last 60 minutes, followed by life in jail. Why won't that happen? Jonesy, reach back and pick off the shelf one of your law textbooks from law school and tell us why justice takes so long.
Well, Kiski, obviously, I hope it's understood that the loss of life and violent loss of life in particular.
No one lost life in this case.
Oh, okay. Well, still
critical injuries, but to this point, as far as I'm aware, no one has lost life.
Fine. It doesn't particularly matter. But I think we've got a pretty strong record on this podcast of being
tough on crime.
We care about non-violence being the norm instead of what we unfortunately have to live with.
Tough on crime is what he meant to say.
Continue. But look, I'm definitely going to push back on you here. The right to a speedy trial is guaranteed to the accused. It is not guaranteed to the state, and that is for good reason. The accused has the right to not rot in jail as they wait for the state to present evidence, but the state doesn't get the right to proceed with whatever fucking speed they want to lock people up. Also, the accused has the right to hear all of the evidence presented against them and present whatever evidence that they want to present. This case should absolutely last more than 60 minutes unless the person pleads out, in which case, by all means. But we're literally seeing video of people being abducted on the streets right now and sent through a bullshit process that's created by Congress. So in case you're curious what I'm referencing, I'm talking about immigration courts right now. And those are what's known as Article 2 courts. They're not real courts. They're courts created by Congress. There's no similar. I mean, there are some constitutional elements, but they're not the same. And so, look, I am very much in favor of and about advocating for the rights of victims of crime. But someone who has been accused of a crime with the mass of resources that the state, and by state I can mean literal state and or the federal government, have to offer, is due all the protection in the fucking world to say, I didn't do this. And so while this particular instance is obviously heartbreaking, and it's seemingly a massive evidence that would be available to convict a person of a crime, process matters. Because that's how people who are legitimate U.S. citizens have been fucking sent to other countries that they have no ties to. So, Keith, particularly if you know anyone, I think I've talked about on this podcast that I have far too many family members, literal family members, who have been victims of mass shootings. If you know anyone who is involved there, my heart genuinely hurts for you. That accused person is still due process to be appropriately served justice. And you can feel strong in that justice because it was done the right way. So that's what I would just say.
All right. Okay. We do need a palate cleanser after that. So Kiski provides. Next up, what are you drinking, Jonesy? Yours is actually kind of interesting, isn't it?
Kiski, love your questions, and love you. But I had a bit of a run to Costco today, and normally that's pretty fucking boring in Pennsylvania. But I went to Delaware, where it's a free for all of cheap liquor and excess, and I got some Añejo Kirkland tequila, and it was fantastic, as well as a 30 racks of Miller Lite to keep me satiated for a while. Kevin, what are you drinking?
$20. It is currently your Corona NA, but it was before that. It was a Carbon 4 Brewing Fantasy Factory IPA, and it was before that a Founder's Mortal Bloom, because I forgive and forget. So there's been an assortment, Keyski. Thank you for asking. Next up from Mamapa Leaf, MSU no longer requires DEI statements in job postings, hiring, evaluation, or promotion, and tenure decisions. So should they be looking at in someone in order to make the world a better place? A, creates a sense of belonging. B, motivated in work and studies by kindness. Or C, brings a unique perspective. I like the implication here.
Have you guys eliminated yours?
We still have a DEI office, and I think we still do a DEI release. We had a quarterly release, an internal release, last I checked. Recently. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if that stops in the near future.
Yo, I come from a company that, I'm not saying yours isn't, but has historically been relatively progressive in its values.
Okay, so you're saying ours isn't. Okay, continue.
And we deleted that shit.
Let me see.
So, so first of all, for anyone who maybe is up in arms about Michigan State doing this, you have, I'm not saying it's the right decision, but I just want to, I think it's worth explaining the context of the decision.
So we publicly, my company does not have a stated DE&I statement, but it has a belonging statement.
Yeah, so we used to have DINB, which anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is that no one wants to get under the microscope right now. No one wants to be, or crosshairs maybe is a better way of saying it, because it's certainly malicious what's happening.
It's malicious and in bad faith.
Yeah, and so you have a lot of constituencies that you're trying to serve, not the least of which are the folks that you actually are trying to serve through DE&I statements. And so you're potentially, and I think this is the risk calculus that a lot of places are doing that care about this stuff, you're potentially doing a lot of harm to your constituencies by putting it all in the crosshairs of this current administration. So I don't know how MSU is going to weasel out of this to try and do, and that makes it sound like I'm not being kind towards it, but like you're doing some slippery gymnastics to try and make this all work. I would encourage them to continue to make this all screw a statement. If you continue to have core competency, objective-based hiring, which means to say that every candidate or promotee is asked the exact same questions, and those are founded in core competencies that are related to the role, then you are doing a lot of work to remove bias from your hiring process. So that's what I would say they should do in the interim. And then they should continue to move back to statements that say everybody is welcome, because everyone should be welcome.
Look what you did, Casey, or Kieski. Now everything is super serious, and he goes on for like 5 minutes, and he's right, so I can't interrupt him. But it is dull. It's boring podcasting, and we're gonna make it up here somehow.
Right, for you.
For you. Second question. What do you think the MSU coaching staff did to make Carlos Medlock Jr. say, "They make me feel like I'm home"? The answer is
they brought him Mamapa Leaf's donuts from Tim Hortons or something.
That's right. Something like that. Oh, good old fashioned Tim Hortons donuts.
Also, happy birthday, Mamapa Leaf. Whenever you listen to this.
Yeah.
Next up and last up, which is fitting because Plum's not here, Beth Amaro. We'd be more excited, but
I would pretend, Beth, to be Plum and to get all excited about you, but he would call that deeply offensive. So
do the voice.
What if I did it?
You were doing it before we recorded. Why did you stop doing it?
It was very feminine. It had a lisp. It was
Next up from Beth
next
Amaro,
up from Beth.
Could you each of you, the two of us, weigh in, and you can only choose one for the upcoming year. 10 Spartan football wins, Spartan basketball loss in the national championship game, Spartan hockey wins the national championship game, or $1 million in cash.
Bro, there's no way I would take an L in the national championship game for $1 million. Beth, think about this. Think about
Also,
if you handed me a mill and then you were like, but if you give the money back to me, your basketball team could lose in the national championship game.
Greg, I think we need to take this a step further. Sorry. 10 wins, by the way, is inclusive. You didn't win the fucking natty.
Yeah.
Out. 2, you mean we're taking an L in the national championship game versus out. Hockey. Beth, have you heard our coverage? I'm sorry, we're taking the millie.
People on YouTube know Jonesy didn't even stick around for the full hockey coverage. Podcast listeners thinks he got quiet. No, he left. He bailed.
Genuinely, there was a magnetile situation happening with the dog in the middle of that.
Of course. Can't have 2 magnetiles in the gastrointestinal tract of a dog, because then that's a big. You're going to need the $1 million cash for all the vet bills coming from that.
Magnetile at the back end of the dog.
Yeah. So Beth,
like the thought here.
It's also like, I'm not at a place financially where I could be like, even if you were offering natties, it would be really hard.
Wait, but hold on. Tommy gets his natty. You're in East Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
Tom gets his natty.
It would be nice. Let me ask you.
But hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated. The millie is contingent upon the other team has to win.
What?
So it's sort of a we're in the national championship.
Yeah.
And it's a one or the other. Like, that's the threshold for the issue.
Okay. Well, there's 2 ways that you could go about this. You could look at it. One is effectively you paid the $1 million. And the other one is you have $1 million hedge on the game where either we win or you get a big payout on the hedge.
Would you place the bet? Maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. Would you place the hedge?
I have a personal policy about betting where MSU is involved because I'm just too close to it. But I do understand the concept of a well-being hedge. I get it. Would you place the bet?
No.
Let me ask you this question.
I would never happiness hedge. Period. End of story.
Let's say in Beth's case, you would either just like get handed the money or you would get the win. So it's effectively you're paying for it. What would your financial situation need to be where you'd be like, keep the cash, I'll take the natty? How much would you have to have on the net worth ledger for you to make that decision?
Student loans in the house are paid off.
That's it?
I mean, yeah.
That's it?
By the time the house is paid off, what it's going to be worth? Like, I mean, we're talking 30 years down the road. Like,
go.
And by the way, dear listener, you're looking at my house. You see over here, there's someone who tiled in a tiny fountain that used to cascade down onto carpet. Like, it's not a nice house. I want to be very clear. My home is fine.
Adequate.
You've been here. You described it as fine.
Adequate. That's wild. Good for you. Everyone now knows you're a better fan than I am. because the number for me would be way more than student loans and the house paid off.
Well, but you also don't know where my student loans are at, but yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. That's definitely true. Okay. For me, it would have to be like 10 or something like that. Like I don't know where I would have to be. Anyway, Jonesy, anything else? Beth, great question. Got us talking. We're going to cover defense next week. Anything else before we call it?
Let's all hope that Plum is here. Until then, go green.
Go white.